George Russell won the first race of 2026 in Melbourne. He was the pre-season championship favourite. He had the best car on the grid. 7 races later, he is third in the standings, 68 points behind his own teammate, and has publicly accepted the title is far out of reach right now. But the championship is only part of the story, because buried inside Russell's Mercedes contract is a performance clause that ties his entire 2027 future to how this season ends. And the same summer break that triggers Verstappen's Red Bull exit clause is also the moment everything about Russell's position crystallises. This is the story most people aren't putting together. Let's go through what's actually happened. Japan. Russell is running second. A safety car drops at the worst possible moment for his tyre cycle, and Antonelli gets ahead. Canada. Russell is leading the race when his power unit fails on lap 30. A straightforward 50 points evaporated. Monaco. A software glitch in the pit lane triggers a 5-second speeding penalty that Mercedes says was not Russell's fault. Then, in the chaos of a late safety car, there is a communication failure between the pit wall and the mechanics. Russell is not told clearly whether to stop for tyres. The drive-through penalty that follows drops him from 3rd to 12th, 0 points from a race he could have podiumed. Then Barcelona, where a Mercedes pit stop error compromised his race before it properly started. Russell himself summed it up in Monaco: "I'm beyond frustration now. I'm just struggling to comprehend how on earth this season has panned out." He added that without those incidents, not a lucky season, just a neutral one. He estimates 3 more podiums and a championship that looks very different. Here is where the story gets more complicated. It is not all external. In Monaco qualifying, Russell started 6th. Antonelli was on pole. The circuit where track position is everything, and Russell was 5 places behind his teammate before a wheel had turned in anger. Russell has acknowledged that Antonelli's approach to the tyres is working better this year. In a way that Russell's own style worked better last year. He said after Monaco that he needed to stop over analysing the data and go back to trusting his instincts. "Last year I just got in and drove fast and it worked." That is a driver telling you something has changed between him and the car. When things go right for Russell in 2026, he is still fast. When he needs to find an extra 10th under pressure, Antonelli is finding it first. That is not a mechanical failure. That is a performance gap. And it matters more than the bad luck story does, because bad luck eventually normalizes. Performance gaps don't fix themselves. Last October, in an interview with The Telegraph, Russell revealed something he said he had not previously made public. His Mercedes deal is a 1+1 structure. His seat in 2026 was guaranteed. His seat in 2027 is not. It depends on hitting a specific performance target. His exact words: "The deal is, if I'm performing, we have a specific clause that if I reach a target, we will automatically renew for 2027. My seat for 2027 is in my hands." In April, when Mercedes was leading the championship and Russell was second, he said confidently, "You hit the metrics and you move on." That was before Canada, before Monaco, before Barcelona. Nobody has confirmed publicly what those metrics are, whether it is a championship position, a points total, or performance relative to Antonelli. But Russell is third in the championship, 68 points behind his own teammate, in a car that should make both of them title contenders. Whatever the clause says, the situation looks different now than it did in April. Verstappen's exit clause at Red Bull almost certainly triggers at the summer break. He is 7th in the championship, and the math cannot be recovered. That has been discussed at length. What matters for Russell specifically is what it means for Mercedes. The assumption has been, Wolff pursues Verstappen, Russell gets squeezed out. But the situation is more nuanced than that. Antonelli is locked in at Mercedes until 2029. He has won 5 races. He is leading the championship at 19. Mercedes does not need Verstappen to stay ahead of Red Bull. They are already comfortably ahead of Red Bull. Any move for Verstappen would require paying him at a salary scale he reportedly expects, and would mean displacing either Antonelli, which is not happening, or Russell. Wolff ruled out pursuing Verstappen before the season, then was reported as reconsidering given Red Bull's collapse. But the economics are harder now. Antonelli's dominance has actually made the Verstappen question more complicated, not simpler, which is the one piece of news that works in Russell's favour. Here is where Russell actually stands. The title is, by his own admission, far out of reach. 16 races remain, but no driver in F1 history has overturned a 68-point deficit to win the championship. The contract clause that determines 2027 has never been more relevant. And the Verstappen situation, while unresolved, is less threatening to Russell than it appeared 3 months ago, because Antonelli has made Russell's removal less necessary, not more. The real question is not whether Russell stays at Mercedes. It probably is still his seat to lose. The real question is whether, in a season this painful, in a car this good, he can prove he belongs in the same conversation as his own teammate. Austria is the next answer, and after the last 4 races, any answer will be welcome. What do you think happens to Russell's seat if Verstappen activates his clause? Does he stay at Mercedes, or does this get complicated fast? Drop your take in the comments and subscribe for more F1 breakdowns every race weekend.